Who's that? There is a good-looking guy.
Wow. What's this in the middle of the Manistee National Forest? I like campers. Get in, good looking. Comptonia peregrina. You can smell it as I'm picking it. Super zesty. Smell that. Every time I get into country that's northern enough and I'm going to be camping, I harvest some for a tea so I can drink it next to the campfire. This stuff is full of vitamins and nutrients. It's delicious. It's a beverage, really. It's good stuff. It's an immune builder. You can use it for sore throats, fever, a bunch of different things. Helps with blood circulation. Sweet fern. This is a foraging cook. Gonna film Dawn making the fire. I can't do all the work around here. One thing I really enjoy about being in the woods, Manistee National Forest, camping up away from people and agriculture, we have a blue racer. Beautiful. Looks like it shed just a couple of weeks ago.
He's pretty.
Blue racers eat other snakes, small rodents, crustaceans. They're friendly after captured, but when I was a kid I had several as a pet. They will stand up with almost 1/3 of their body in high grass and charge you sometimes like bull snakes to try to scare you away. But this one didn't give me too much of a hassle. I just wanted to show you guys how beautiful blue racers are and show you how fast they are. Put it on flat ground here and see it.
Sorry, buddy.
First, might try to strike at me, but back you go, little buddy.
Oh, he did. He was mad.
Look at him raise. See how he raises up?
I don't know if I got that, but we'll try to.
That's all right. He's back in the brush.
Thank you for letting us film you.
Excellent.
He was pretty.
See, Dawn walked right past these mushrooms. Let's see what kind of mushrooms they are. Leiodoporus cincinnatus? Nope. Leiodoporus sulphurus. They're a little old. We're up here in the Manistee National Forest, disperse camping and looking for mushrooms, and Dawn missed them.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they're old. We won't harvest them. We've been finding a lot of honeys. No hedgehogs, no black trumpets, which is why I'm here. Hopefully things will get better. You picking some poisonous ones?
I am. They're honeys.
Oh, those are big. I love these northern Michigan honeys. This is a catch and cook film. We're going to catch these honey mushrooms and we're going to cook them. We caught a chicken too. Mushroom.
Beautiful.
No salmon in the river yet. That's one steep bank. That Newton fella, he was on to something. Get too close to that. We've got fresh deer tracks. We're following the deer. Little doe made her nervous. This is the famous Taylor Road Fisherman's Trail down to the Pierre Marquette River corridor. Where we salmon fish, or where I've been salmon fishing for many seasons. I don't know whether you can see the river corridor or not, but I'm going to take you down the famous hill, which is easy going down. I'm not going to embarrass myself and show you guys coming up, but imagine coming up this hill with 70 pounds of Chinook salmon on your back. And I'm pointing down a little bit with the GoPro, not much. Pretty steep. It just keeps going and going. Pause and show you guys part of the river corridor. I don't know how to operate the zoom on this. Dawn always runs the GoPro. We haven't seen any salmon in the river yet, but this is about to be Labor Day weekend, and usually they don't start until after Labor Day, as far as starting to see females on the gravel beds laying eggs and the males spawning. The mushroom hunting is why we came up to do some dispersed camping and mushroom hunt. So far we found chickens and a lot of honeys. I was hoping for black trumpets and beefsteak polypore and maybe some early hens. Haven't been that lucky yet, but we are going to go check out the Betsy River after we camp out tonight. Getting a little closer to the river. If I make this too bouncy, Dawn's not going to let me upload it because she don't like bouncy filming. take you guys to the one spot in the river where my short legs can cross when the river's at normal levels. It's the only spot I found where I can cross. And we are down in the river corridor. Black Bear Paradise. See a big juniper tree there. And there is the PM. Big hill we just came down. The river's not up, it's normal. A lot of Joe Pye weed down here. Goldenrod, which I should do a film on one of these days because it's one of those underrated power herbs. Beautiful. Down here in the rain, got catkins hanging on this speckled alder tree. I love it down here. That peninsula over there, one night Eddie and I came down here about 3 a.m. in the morning, waders on in the rain. Fog was everywhere, the salmon were running and jumping, and we just laid down on the bank and took a nap right there in our waders. Never go north without using some of the Great North's best tinder. Dawn gets to start the fire, so I'm gonna grab her. White birch bark, paper birch bark, whichever you want to call it. Volatile, great tinder. You guys get to see her try to make a fire. I cut the wood, she starts the fire. I cook the supper, she does the dishes. Just what we found around the campsite. Just started foraging. We're going to do a catch and cook, including the sweet fern. I'm going to gather some St. John's wort, some wintergreen, and make that sweet fern tea, and it'll be an awesome evening. You ready? Another way.
You know how they do those videos on YouTube about primitive fire starting? This ain't it. We're hungry, and I am going to show David how to do it faster. So we always put wood on the ground before we start lighting a fire, just so our tinder stays drier. And we are in the Great North, and so the best tinder to use out here is birch bark right here. So what you do is, since I am in a hurry, is I'm going to use my handy dandy torch. I am going to start this like so, and then we're going to add some kindling that we brought, which is pine, which burns hot and fast, makes a great fire starter. And then we're going to add some sticks that we found in the woods, which is pretty much everything that we have. And you just kind of lay it on there, keep it going. And then as the fire builds and gets better, we're going to add some larger pieces. And each time that we build a fire, we go from small to large. So we're going to kind of wrap this around like this. And let it build up a little bit.
You think you're faster than me?
I know I'm faster than you. And we're going to have a good dinner.
A little catch and cook. There's the sweet fern that I harvested earlier. And I threw in some wintergreen, about 20 leaves, and pine needles really won't hurt anything, but fresh wintergreen, sweet fern. Gonna throw it in this pot here. We're gonna bring it to a boil. And then we're gonna add, after we strain it, we're gonna add a little bit of honey to sweeten it. And this beverage here is refreshing, full of antioxidants, boost your immune, good for sore throats, headaches, sores, muscle aches, all that stuff. It's a feel-good tea for when you're camping and when you've got to do all the work. And the coffee that we're brewing, we're going to fill our thermos so that when we wake up in the morning we have hot coffee and we don't have to wait on it, because impatience is the American attitude. Stumper mushrooms, pork steak, wintergreen, sweet fern, and a little bit of St. John's wort for muscle aches and high immune builder and antioxidants. A little catch and cook. We put that tarp up because it was raining to keep our gear dry. Got it up and it stopped raining. This is our catch and cook.
It's yummy.
Dawn makes a great campfire pork steak, by the way. Bon appetit. Just woke up, getting our breakfast fire started. It's going to be a beautiful sunny morning. Get breakfast. There's a YouTube channel out there that Dawn and I like to watch called The Outdoor Boys. The father takes his young sons out and has camping adventures and fishing adventures, and it's just really good family stuff. And I suggest you subscribe. He's quite entertaining. He's a good guy. Anyway, Dawn's seen that he made these cinnamon rolls on a stick above the campfire, so we are going to try that. So these are just cinnamon rolls you buy in the store. What this guy did was he rolled them up into a long roll. And this is going to be our morning breakfast morning 1. And then he puts it on a stick and he gets it pretty thin. Puts it on a stick like this and twists it around and then pins it to the top. And then lays it over the campfire. Breakfast morning 1, we'll show you whether this works. It may not. I might not be as talented as that guy, but it's still a great idea, and if Dawn gets her cinnamon rolls, then we'll have a good morning. Well, this is the result of Dawn's cinnamon roll. It really looks horrible on the stick.
Oh, that's yummy.
But if Dawn thinks it's yummy, it's yummy.
It needs icing.
I mean, it looked like we cooked that blue racer.
It does, doesn't it?
But, and she didn't put the icing on it that comes with it. But incidentally, she used a sassafras stick for hers, and I used a witch hazel stick for mine. And mine didn't work. So it went to the fire. Be warned, if you don't roll it up tight and twist it on the stick good, then it definitely don't work. But
Might even work better as an individual if you roll it into a long tube and individually wrap it.
yep,
But it's actually good.
I agree. All right, that's our first morning. We're gonna go off to the Betsy.
Bye.
I'm gonna do a video on this and put it up when Dawn and I go find fresh Reishis. This one's old. We found it on a nature walk and a mushroom hunt with two of our experienced mushroom hunters. It's too old to pick, but I'm gonna do a video on its identification, what it's good for, and the benefits. This is just part of our camping mushroom thing here. We'll throw it in there. But watch for my video on Reishi when Dawn and I find fresh Reishi. Ganoderma sugae, they grow on hemlock trees. This is varnishy, real waxy, which is what Ganoderma stands for. I think Gano is waxy or glossy or something like that. Derma is skin. Anyway, this is a beautiful mushroom when it's first coming up. I think it's beautiful anyway when it's old like this, but we'll do a video on it. It might be next year when we get it uploaded because we're past the season for reishi mushroom, but this is an extremely beneficial medicinal and preventative medicinal mushroom. So watch for my video coming up next May, probably, I'm gonna guess into June, possibly, when I go up into the hemlock forests in northern Michigan and collect reishi. Anyway, it's fun to find when we're out shrooming and camping. It's a cool find. Hopefully before this trip is over, we've got much more to show you. Pileated woodpecker. Before the rain, this sawdust pile was a few inches deep. That's just one hole way up in there, and here's another one, and you can see the insect paths in the wood. Pretty cool. Pileated woodpeckers are one of my favorites. Look like a chainsaw came in here.
little creek bed here in the middle of the Manistee.
This camping trip we were on, I wanted to show you guys the difference. This has been in the cooler for 2 days. This is Leiatoporus sulphurus. See how yellow it is on the bottom, and when I picked it, it was really bright yellow. Now, I did a video on that I haven't uploaded yet on the sulphurus, and orange on top, of course. And this is Leiopattus cincinnatus, which is white underneath and orange on top. They call these chicken mushrooms. You can see the difference. Yellow. And then when you look under this one, it's white. This one is super fresh, a little sun faded. This one is still fresh, but sun faded on top. When they're in the deep woods, they're just bright, bright, bright orange, beautiful mushrooms. I've never really noticed a taste difference between these two, but I have noticed that the cincinnatus, which grows terrestrially, is a little heavier. It has more moisture in it. It doesn't dehydrate as fast as this. I fry them up, and then excess I dehydrate for teas and preventative medicines. Anyway, that's the difference. I do have videos on them, but I wanted to show you because we're up here camping in Shroom, and that this is the first time in my life I've found both species on the same day, which I wish I would have found them close to one another, so I wouldn't have had to pull this out of a Ziploc bag for you guys. But anyway, pretty cool. Figured I'd add it to the camping video.
Honey, we're home. Man, I could make a really good fire.
The neat thing about mushroom foraging is a lot of times you find something that you have seen in a book but don't remember spore prints or the names of, and or you run into a mushroom species you have never found. And I always enjoy it. I pick 2 or 3 usually and take them home and do spore prints and find out what they are. Now, this is for bolete mushrooms only. What I'm about to tell you is for bolete mushrooms only. And boletes have a stem. They grow terrestrially. They have tubes or pores, not gills. And they usually have a round, nice, thick hat. They're a thick, voluptuous mushroom. A lot of times, when you find boletes, which is a mushroom without gills, tubes, and pores, and it doesn't stain blue or brown or stain any other color when you cut it in half, then you might have an eater. That's a might. And then you can always take a flake off of this, just a small flake, and you can taste test it. Just put between your teeth, chew on it for 30-40 seconds, spit it out. Don't eat mushrooms raw. Now if it has a peppery taste or a bitter taste or in any way makes your tongue hot, then you're definitely not going to want to eat it. But this tells me that I might have an edible mushroom. I don't know the species. I think it's a Lexinium. It might be a Grypholius. I'm not sure. So I have to look it up. I figured I'd include it in Dawn and I's video, this video, where we're doing the camp and mushroom hunt and catch and cook mushrooms, stuff of that nature. But I like finding mushrooms that I have yet to see or encounter and find out what they are. So Dawn and I are going to pick 3 or 4 of these. We found several hundred, so we know where it's at. And once I identify this and know what it is, and if it is an eater, then we'll definitely be back to harvest a whole bunch of these. Now there are a handful of boletes that have very mild taste and don't stain blue, don't stain red, don't stain brown, that are not eaters. They're listed as unknown or not edible. But I'm pretty sure I have an eater here. I just have to go home and verify that. And if I find out what it is by the time Dawn uploads this video, we will definitely include that on the comments. So, off to see what else we can find. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as Dawn and I have enjoyed making it. I wanted to show you for the end of the video the culmination of our fun early autumn mushroom hunt camp. There's 2 species of sulfur shelf. Note that beautiful bright yellow underneath for the Lapitorius sulphurus, and then the beautiful white underneath for Lapitorius cincinnatus. This one is terrestrial. This one grows on wood. Both chicken mushrooms, both beautiful, both delicious. 2 of my favorites. 2 species here. These are honeys. This is the same species of Amarilla. This is how I like to pick them, fresh and brand new. These, when I cut them, I make sure there's no wormhole, which that one has a tiny wormhole in it. But you can see the bale remnant of the mushroom after it opens right there.
I'll try to get it.
And then you can see on this young species how it's golden because it hasn't been bleached by the sun yet, and it has a veil. When it opens, it'll look like that, and after it becomes faded, it'll look like that, and then after it becomes faded more, it'll look like that. This is the honey mushroom. We could have picked 10 times this in honey mushrooms. And then we ate half of our find, which we only found just under a pound of black trumpets. And black trumpets usually don't make it very far with me before they're in the frying pan. A lot of times they're in the frying pan right in the wood. Some fresh turkey tail to add to our medicinal stock. It was very fresh. I couldn't help but pick it. And then the very interesting one is I found a species of mushroom that has no common name, and I cannot pronounce it yet. Dawn and I have both been trying to pronounce it, but we discovered what this is, and it is an edible bolete in the Hemilecnium category. Hemilecnium subligrypes. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I will get the pronunciation right. And I wanted to show you guys this one. It's a neat bolete that when you cut it in half, it does not stain at all. It's tawny on top, chestnut colored tawny, with very light yellow stalk, very light yellow pores and tubes, light yellow flesh, grows under aspen, or at least that's where we found it. This was my first time finding the mushroom. It has a very mild to sweet taste when you do a taste test and spit it out, and the spore print is olive brown. Now these are supposed to taste like lemon, a little bit like lemon, and they're supposed to be very good. The only book that I was able to find and verify what I had was Bullets of Eastern North America by Alan and Arlene Bissett. I would definitely get yourself that book, because every time I run into something, I'm like, man, I've never seen that before. And a lot of times you find just bunches and bunches and bunches. And Dawn and I found bunches, and we got to verify it before we left. And so we went back and picked them real quick so I can try them. So now that I have discovered a new species of mushroom that I've never seen before, we will only cook up 3 or 4 of these, and we'll put the rest in the fridge. And we'll eat them and see how our bodies adjust, or how our bodies respond. If they respond well, and a couple days later we'll eat the rest of them, and then each time we find them we'll begin experimenting with the best way to store them when we have excess, whether it's dehydration, which most boletes dehydrate very well and rehydrate very well without losing a lot of flavor. So the experimenting is beginning. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. We had a blast camping. Everything about it was fun. We got to see the blue racer. Dawn missed getting on film a pileated woodpecker that was big as a 2-liter bottle.
Standing right next to me.
We left a friend's new cabin up there. Mark and Stephanie, hi. Thanks for the hike. We left their cabin, and within 30 or 40 minutes they had a bear standing next to the same wood pile Mark and I had just been standing to, and they got to film it, and I thought that was great. We didn't get to get that on the GoPro, but and getting a bear on a GoPro would be kind of cool indeed, especially a Michigan bear. So we're going to do a late autumn and maybe even a mid-autumn camp out mushroom hunt just like this one. What we keep going up there for are lion's mane and black trumpets. I was up there 2 years ago and I got them by the 5-gallon buckets. So we're hoping to do that. Anyway, one more species I got in here, and this is the dotted stalk Cilius, which is basically a bullet species. They're pretty good. If you get rid of these pores, which I do on all my boletes except for the butters and the kings. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Safe and happy foraging.